Hello everybody and welcome to the second video on the new version of my channel. Now last time we were playing Terratech as you can see here, but this time we are going to be playing a game called Rimworld. Now Rimworld, just like Terratech, is available on Steam. It is also early access and currently we are playing Alpha 18, which is, as you see here on the top left corner, 0.18.1722. It is a colony-based simulator by Tyne and Sylvester. The reason why we are playing game number 2 instead of Terratech right now is because, as I said before, we're going to be alternating between three main games. The first one being Terratech, as we played last time. The second one is Rimworld here, and the third one will be revealed very, very soon. What I would like to say very, very briefly is a quick description of the game. This one here, it is a sci-fi colony sim driven by an intelligent AI, Storyteller, inspired by Dwarf Fortress and Firefly. Generate stories by simulating psychology, ecology, gunplay, melee combat, climate, biomes, diplomacy, interpersonal relationships, art, medicine, trade, and more. Basically, it is a base-building survival strategy game. It is one of my favourites, just like Terratech. This would probably be second favourite to Terratech, actually, and is the reason why it is the second game. We are going to be playing this one, then the third game, then we're going to be jumping right back to episode 2 for Terratech, and hopefully I will keep this going and increase the amount of uploads per day. This should hopefully keep you guys interested, as well as myself, in all of these games, because I've played them all quite extensively for some time. Now, mods I have installed on this one are only particularly on the Prepare Carefully, which is only for the very beginning, but I hopefully should not need it. I might use it if I get a really bad deal at the beginning, but hopefully we shouldn't need it. Mod switch is only so I can keep my mods organized as well as saved and backed up and load them, and it pretty much just organizes the mods. It doesn't actually do anything in game itself. Hugslib is only so mod switch does work, because when I had that disabled, mod switch I believe crashed, so we're going to keep that. Those are the only mods I have. On the options I have music right down low because it is extremely annoying sometimes, ambient volume being right up and game volume being slightly down. Everything is absolutely fine. Plant wind sway I have kept off. The reason for that is just to keep frame rate up, and also it is a bit annoying when it's constantly moving around. Everything else is absolutely fine. Pause on load. I believe that's it. So yeah, 3 days is on the interval save as well. We're going to go right into a new colony now. As I said before, it is available on Steam. I will leave a link in the description for that, as well as the mods link for the forums as well. We're going to jump right into a colony and go on Crash Landed. If you haven't read these yet, Lost Tribe is, you can pause right now and have a look. Rich Explorer, have a look. We do have the custom builds, but we are going to leave those alone. We start with 3 people for Crash Landed, chosen from 8. We have silver, package 5 mils, medicine component, bolt action rifle, revolver, plasteel knife, random pet, which I do hate because we tend to get a warg. I've loaded the game quite a few times and I get a warg every single time, so I have a feeling we're going to get the same. Steel, wood, ship chunks, steel, and package 5 wheels are also scattered around the map. I do hate the fact that the package 5 wheels are scattered, but well, that's fine. We could go into Scenario Creator, but that's absolutely fine. We're going to jump into Phoebe Chillax. I'm going to do a quick description. Cassandra's basic. Phoebe Chillax does give you a nice good break between, but hits you quite hard, and Randy Random is mental sometimes, but sometimes also boring. Let's go for Phoebe Chillax on some challenge. I'm going to keep permadeath mode disabled, which is absolutely fine, and we're going to keep the 30% global coverage and randomize the seed to, let's, lubricant, trouble, Troy, don't know what that says. Let's try, because no one's scared of a Jeffrey. That should do. Rainfall and temperature I will keep as normal. One thing I did say earlier on in the video, of course, is that we are going to be doing uploads hopefully every day for keeping you guys interested, as well as myself, in these games. Again, I've played them for a very, very extensive amount of time. So to me, without mods, this vanilla game is getting a bit boring now, although I am absolutely in love with version 18. Common misconception is that the tropical swamp, maybe not the tropical swamp, but the tropical rainforest, or things like, where are they? Woodland, tropical rainforest again, temperate forest, there we go. Sometimes people think that these are really good areas to start. The tropical rainforest and the swamp, definitely not, because it's full of diseases and lots of creatures that can kill you, and just, yeah, lots of bad juju, basically. What we would like to find, though, is a nice shrubland. The reason I would like shrubland is because even though the trees are slightly sparse, it does give you a few, maybe temperate forest, although I'd rather not. It does give you granite, which I do like. The one thing to look for is growing period in particular. Ideally, you would like year-round, unless you want to go for something scary like the desert up here, or even more scary. You can go all the way up to the ice sheet. Now we do have some interesting areas around here. We've got is it Boreal Forest? I'm unaware of Boreal, the word. I know of Boreal, but that's not the right word, I don't think. A few other options around here. Maybe you've got some shrubland there, but again, oh, actually we do have year-round. That could work up here. Maybe around here. Year-round, granite, sandstone and slate, perfect. Dirt road, flat. I mean, I would ideally like some trees, but this seems pretty good. The disease frequency is quite low. Summer temperature is a bit high, but it's not nowhere near as high as it could be, which is further lower. I believe it gets a little warmer as you go lower down, and also in the desert, of course. We are going to go into advanced, and we're going to increase this to medium. And the factions, as you can see, amazing. I have 3 friendly allies and 2 hostile. Common misconception, once again, is the hostile option is only enabled when it says hostile. If it's minus a number and it's red but it doesn't have a hostile, it means they will not attack you, at least if you go into their territory. If they come into yours, maybe they'll raid you, I'm unsure, but I do believe that if they're not hostile but in red, it means they won't raid. We have I would say a pretty good option there. But let's have a look and see what we get for people. Now, at the moment, I'm looking at incapable. We also have traits as well, but that to me is secondary. Incapable of is, primary. We have incapable of intellectual artist, artistic and cooking, dumb labor, social intellectual, and pretty much incapable of none. Optimistic, psychically hypersensitive. That means very sensitive to psychic drones and those kind of things. Trigger happy also means that they shoot like crazy and aren't great at aiming. We have a herbalist who is incapable of firefighting. Also has a relation with Christina, which is somewhere. Can't find Christina. Glasses. Brennan. Where's Brennan? Oh, maybe it's in another colony, just not here. We also have incapable and incapable. That isn't great. So what we're going to do is we're going to random that a little bit. We have not optimistic, brawler, and green thumb. Great. You look amazing. I will keep you, and let's randomize you a little bit. Oops, missed. Nervous, trigger happy, and hard worker. That isn't too bad. Nervous basically means that their mental break threshold is a little bit higher. Isn't great. They are also too young. Problem with them being children is that they are incapable of certain things, i.e. they can't do certain jobs, I believe. That's a little bit better. Hard work and aesthetic, not great on that information. Artistic, you're also slothful. Well, that's a bit better. Incapable of none. That's fine. Nudist, let's get rid of a few things there. Pessimist and greedy. Greedy I'm not a huge fan of because it means you want a big bedroom. Let's have a look at a few other things. Brawler, nervous, and psychopath. Again, not great traits. We're going to jump a couple more times and let's see if we can be lucky. Otherwise, we're going to have to go for prepare carefully. But ideally, let's not. Optimistic and hard worker. Do you know what? These will be perfect. Let's see. You are a great cook and you're good at medicine. You're also okay at that. Do we have anybody that is okay at construction or crafting? Construction's a 3 and a 1. 3 and... oh, sorry, no. 4 and a 2. That's a little bit better, and you can be our doctor. Yeah, do you know what? We're going to go for these. We're going to rename... do we want to rename these? Do you know what? I think we're going to keep these as Mila, Dillon, and Rodgers. I quite like that, and it looks like, I believe, they are all female. It looks like we're going for all power of the ladies. Alright, let's check out this map and see how we do. Now, as you can see here, we have the 3 of you awake in your crypto-sleep sarcophagi to the sound of sirens and ripping metal. You barely get to the escape pods before the ship is torn apart. Sometime later, you land on this unknown Rimworld. As a species of shredded starship fall around you, you start making plans to survive. Now, what we would like to do is we have a few aims in this this map around here, or shall we say this gameplay. Let's start and see what we have. Now, I am going to have a little look around the map. We have a steam geyser there and there. We have a few things here. Let's have a look. We have a nice good dirt road across that leads slightly down. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit more. Unfortunately, I can't zoom out further than that, but that's fine. We have loads and loads of room to work with. The only thing I do find that we have a little bit of a lack of is rich soil. As you can see the dark patch here. Yeah, that to me is a little bit of a sucky find. Is that really the only fertilized soil that we have? I mean, I don't really like to do a map without any, but I mean, we have some there, but that's so near the edge, I really don't want to do it. We have a tiny bit there. Yeah, I think that is pretty much all we have, is just that tiny bit here. So what I'm going to do is, where are we? We are... Where are my peoples? There we go. We are here. Now, it should technically have paused on the load, but I don't know why it hasn't. It might be because that's why it brought the map up. What you need to do here is you need to double-click on certain items. I'm zooming out in case anything else around the map is selected. And the best way to test that is by finding something that is nicely spread apart, i.e. that. If I zoom in a little bit and just keep a few in view, as soon as I click it, it will select everything that's in view. But anything that's not in view, i.e. that stuff, it's deselected it. Now if I do it one more time, what I'm going to do is press F. Oh, no, that's not what I wanted to press. That is interesting. What else did I select? I have no idea. Oh well, we're going to unforbid all of the steel. We are also going to unforbid everything here. Just going to double click everything just to make sure. I believe everything is done except the wood. Zoom out, make sure we've got everything. Yes, we have. We have missed also survival mills there. I believe we've got everything. Now, what we would like to do very, very first of all is equip our people. We could set the jobs and work and everything, but first of all, I'm going to choose the people. So, gear, that's all fine. We all, I believe, have clothes. Now, I've set my tab button to skip between the people. I believe by default it is full stop and comma, but my comma is deselected because I have, deconfigured because I have configured tab to be that button. You can also select up here as well. If you double click, you jump to the person. If you single click, it just selects them wherever they are on the map. But you don't see where they are unless you double click. Or of course, find them through the tab option, which again is comma or full stop. I do have, unfortunately, a Yorkshire Terrier, which unfortunately I am not a huge fan of Yorkshire Terriers. I love animals, I absolutely adore animals, but Yorkshire Terriers just for me are tiny little yappy things that I absolutely dislike. Let's have a look at our shooters. We have a 4, a 0 and a 0. So the 4 is going to get, someone's been sick. Yep, Rodgers is being sick. We are going to get the bolt action rifle for you. Rodgers, you are going to unfortunately have the revolver, and you, my love, Mila, are going to have the, is it plasteel knife? There it is. The plasteel knife. Now what I would like to do is set up a stockpile area for absolutely everything to come in here. Now what I'm going to set for here is on normal priority, and I would like all the foods and I would like all of the wood to come in here. The reason I would like the wood, medicine first, as well as the wood, is because wood does indeed deteriorate when it is unroofed. Now, technically, I could put the wood in here, or I could set another zone and do it here, for example. Not only do that, but then I would need to do a structure, I believe, there and there. Because it is only 3 wide, I believe I don't actually need to do that. But what I first need to do is claim these blocks. Now, all the blocks that are already on the map that are constructed, you can either deconstruct or you can claim. I'm also going to keep all the steel there. What I am going to do, though, is just keep this area and leave everything else. The reason being is because if I claim that, it will set it as my home area. I don't want that. I will check my home area, which, as you can see, has been set to that. I'm going to spread it just a little bit more, just to cover the wide area that I need, as well as the stockpile. You can either deselect the automatic home area, which is here. If I deselect it, it means that it will not automatically spread the home area. A lot of the times I will do that at the beginning of the game, but I will then forget to change it back. So what I will do right now is, to save me from that distraction, is I will set it as that. The other options here are things like beauty, which you can check. it will just show you the surrounding area on how beautiful the area is. -1 being you'll get a debuff, and obviously anything at a plus will be a positive. Let's get rid of that again. All these areas as well, you've got colonist bar, which is at the top, and you've got here visibility of roofs, which, to be honest, I don't think actually, I don't think it does anything. Ah, there it does. Oh, it does. I need a roof on here, which is build roof area. Because we've just claimed it and not built it, we haven't roofed it. So we need to roof it. First of all, I think we should set some priorities. So if you hold shift and click firefight up here, left click, it brings the priorities higher, down level 1. If you right click, it sets them back up. Now what it does do is if I keep pressing shift right click, it will keep that at 0. If I keep pressing shift left click, it brings it down to 1 and keeps it at that. Now if I let go of shift and press left click, let go of shift and press left click, it will sort it to prioritize the people that are doing it at the top. The best way to show you that is to press something like, let's have a look, art. See, if I click it, it shows the priority, and I guess it shows highest is most important is first, or highest priority is first. Keep clicking it and then it will go back to basic. Or you can right click and then go alternate backwards. Or as I said again, you can shift click and it will bring everybody's priorities up and down. So let's look at the highlighted ones here and set all the ones that are highlighted to 1. The reason for that is because the game pretty much tells you these are the people best suited to these jobs because they have the highest, say, skill in that. Construction's 4. Hunt is fine. We're going to keep you off handle. I don't really want the cook to be everything like up here as well. You're on 4, 2, and 2. Oh, that kind of sucks. You're going to be wardening as well. Right, we're going to get those set to 1 on the flick, and bed rest is going to be a 2. That's fine. You're also a constructor. Smithing off, off, off. Miner, we don't seem to have any good miners whatsoever. Everyone is off on mining, so let's set that on 4 to everybody, except for the cook, who's also a grower. You're okay. You're going to be on 3, 2, and everyone's going to be on hauling. Again, shift left click, and cleaning, everyone's going to be on 2. Okay, that should do. Everyone should be hauling everything now. It's taking some time, so let's speed it up a little bit. Let's go to speed 3, shall we? Now, what I would like to get sorted in this is the work tab, which I have already done. I would also like to set the restrictions tab, which again I will bring down to anything up here. Now the reason I do this, I'm going to keep that there actually. The reason I do this and set the work at 8 o'clock for everybody, all the way up until 6, is because I like to have everyone work throughout the day. If they set to anything, it means they literally will do anything. Sometimes they'll have free time, they'll play, they'll go out and wander, but I like to get certain things done during the daytime. What I did forget to do here is some sleeping spots, which was probably very, very silly, but I think the best thing to do, as we have the wood, is craft some wooden beds. Now, what you can do is you can craft one there, there, and there. I think it's probably also important to get a structure of wood here and there. And it means we can craft a door there. Now, what I would like to do is find our constructor, who is Rodgers. You can double click the name there. And I'm going to get her to make a door. And that as well, and all the beds. Hopefully you will get everything fixed. And then, at the same time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to press R while I've selected everybody, draft them. Now, of course, I've all woken them up. The problem with that is that means they might get a slight debuff, the fact that they've been disturbed in their sleep. Also, the fact that Rodgers was running around and they slept outside. So everyone is going to be in a pretty much of a bad mood right now. It's not great. They're all pretty content, which is great because they've all got the early buff, which is great, which I think is called New Colony Optimism, as well as Low Expectations, Tons of Joy, and Optimistic. So there's a few things that a few of them have got, which is great. But yeah, also got Feeling Good. Mila is feeling good. That's great. I love that. What I would like to do is make sure that everything, absolutely everything, is hauled from up here. I believe this was pretty much where we had everything. So yeah, because that's where all the puke is. It's not set as our home area, so we don't have to worry about that. Second, let's get a growing area down. Now I'm going to use this as our growing area. Technically, I'm going to do a 7x4, another 7x4, another 7x4, and one more 7x4. Now the last one I'm going to use as heal root. The reason for that is because I only need a little bit, and I only need it later on. Now, because I didn't press pause, they've already started building. They've already started planting, so I should probably correct that already and keep pause on. I would like to keep that as potatoes, that's fine. This one is going to be set as rice, which technically takes the least amount of time to grow. Takes 3 days. Potatoes take 5.8 days, I believe it is. Where's potatoes? Potatoes, potatoes. 5.8. So that's 3 days, and also we have strawberries, which take, probably should have selected it there, take 4.62 days. On fertile soil, of course, they will grow faster. But the reason I have them spread out around is so I can have them a little bit wider, increase one each side if I want to. But I will, of course, have to find another area. I do have down here, but in my opinion, it's a bit far away. Ideally, I'd like to use that, and that for electricity later as well. So that is all set as heal root. What I am going to do as well is something really handy to have is to label your plants. The reason for that is so I can check the name here instead of checking the plant itself as to what it's called. It's just an easier way for me to jump between the piles and know which is which. This one is going to be called rice. My apologies if you can hear the keys, the sound of my keyboard. My deep, deep apologies. What was this one? Potato. Spell it correctly, of course. I could have put potatoes, but I'm going to leave it as potato. You know what? I can't. My OCD won't let me. Won't let me. And yes, I'm sure that's how you spell potatoes. I could check it up, but that's absolutely fine. Let's have a look. They should all now be sleeping in beds, which is amazing. The beds that we have are poor, we have awful, and we have shoddy. Now, I believe shoddy is the worst, awful is the next one, then it's poor, normal, then I believe it goes to good, excellent, legendary, and then masterwork. I believe is the correct way. Now, we have the speed currently on 3, because we want to skip through the night. But what I would like to do very, very quickly is set the areas. Now we have home area, area 1, and animal area 1. But if we go to the manage areas here, what we can do is we can add a new area. We want 3 in total for each. Now the reason I want to do that is because we have area 1 is going to be wide. Area 2 is going to be close. No, not close. And area 3 is going to be restricted. Now the reason I've done those is you will see in a moment I'm going to do the exact same for here. So we're going to do wide, we're going to do close, and we're going to do restricted. Did I put the tab there? No, restricted. That should do. And now what it means I can do is I can go to wide area for the people. And the reason I've done animals is so you can see the options. If I just set it as wide without the animals, it will just appear exactly the same. So let's set this as I'm only going to keep it a little bit wide. I'm not going mental right now because I don't plan on using it just now. It's going to be later on when we start getting massive raids and, you know, herds of animals coming through, you know, passing through and whatnot. Now, everybody can be on inside here. On the close one, we're going to keep it restricted to pretty much just around the area. That should do. And on restricted, we're going to keep it as indoors. And now the reason why I've not included the building itself is because they will technically stand, I believe, 1 outside as well sometimes, and animals can actually eat 1 tile across, or sometimes I believe maybe even 2 tiles across. So what I would like to do is straight away is keep my animals to a wide area, which is around my base. Because it's a walk, it will eat animals outside. What I don't want it to do is eat my meals, which are for some reason out there. I don't know why that's out there, because this should technically be set for meals and set for important, or preferred, shall we say. Everything else can be left at that. I'm also going to include this as medicine, which is manufactured. And the reason I press pause is because we have visitors. Now if I left click and then jump to location, a group from Anthlor, is that? are visiting the colony. They seem to have a few items to trade. Now, if I jump to location, they're all the way over here. One thing I would like to say is a lot of people tend to think that as soon as a trader comes in, you run straight over to him and start buying items. The problem with that is that as soon as you buy things, he'll drop them on the ground over here, which means you have to haul them all the way back. The best thing to do is finish what you're doing, building, crafting, whatever it is that you're doing. As soon as he gets nearer your base, you can then, of course, grab your warden, who is Mila, and you can go to Jack over here and trade. Now, because we have silver, which is here, these are ours, we have Mila is our negotiator, she is on the left, and our trader is on the right, which has all these items. This is us. Now, I know this is very confusing at first when you look at it, but basically means if I click to the right on any of these items, we're going to move these things over here. Basically means we're selling. If we move everything over to the left, it means we're buying. The only things we can move to the left are these, which are packaged survival meals, components, medicine, and penoxicillin. I believe is that pronunciation. Penoxicillin? Yeah, penoxicillin. We can sell packaged survival meals, components times 2, because these ones technically, I believe, oh no, we can buy. That's it. We can't sell because we have no arrow next to them, but we can buy. Anything we have an arrow here is what we can sell. Packaged survival meal, components, and medicine. That is it. For the purposes of showing about the whole silver thing and dropping on the floor, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sell 1 medicine. Change that, I'm actually going to sell instead 1 packaged survival meal because medicine's important. Now, if I accept and press pause instantly, as you can see, Jack here has dropped some silver. What I would like is Mila to haul that silver into the stockpile along with the rest. And hopefully, see, as you can see here, Delilah just puked, I believe, or just ate. Did you just eat? I believe you just ate. Where do I see? Social? No. Combat? Training? You can't actually see what they had. Normally, I guess on social is what you would see, but on animals you can't. What I'm going to do, and I was doing a minute ago, was on the animal area wide, I'm going to go onto clear. Now, either you can click and then click and click and click on the same one, it brings up the same one, or if I'm on animal wide, I can either just single click and then let go, as in just click and then move, not actually click anything on here. If I click once, this comes up, and if I move off, it actually automatically jumps onto that one. If I click single click there, it jumps between the two. Jumps between the two. And it means I don't actually have to click on that as well. But what I would like to do is clear in here. Again, the animal can... Now, if I actually wake that animal up, I don't think I can. When she wakes up, she will realise that she is not allowed in the animal area. And what will happen is I need to select her on wide. Now, as soon as I press play, watch what happens. She should, when she wakes up, it should be any second now, is move outside the house. Now, I know she will automatically run out the house anyway, but it means she will realise that she is not even allowed in the house. Now, what we have here is we have our colony that has been named. Now, it says here, Mila thinks that you should give your faction a name. What should your faction be called? Forest Shore is one, and Brazelton is it says here, since it looks like you'll be here for a while, Mila also thinks you should give this community a name. What should this local community be called? Brazelton I quite like. Forest Straw I'm not too sure on that one. I'm going to call this one Jeffries. Now I think technically you would spell Jeffries like that, although that might also be an option. No, that one. No, that one. I think that might be the best one for Jeffries. Yeah? We got 2. We have 3 Fs, don't we? We only wanted 2. That's better. And Brazelton. Jeffries of Brazelton, apparently. Yeah, that'll do. Faction is called Jeffries, and the community is called Brazelton. I think that should do it. Now, one thing I will note as well is we are running out a little bit of wood. But what I forgot to do, as you may have noticed, is build a roof area over here. Now, if you look here, it says deteriorating due to being unroofed, and that is because I forgot to put a roof area there. So, what I'm doing now is Rodgers is now putting a roof. Now, if I click on it once more, or at least you see that little debuff there has disappeared. It will stay at the health at 149 out of 50, but it means that it will no longer deteriorate. Again, with the components, that has also started to deteriorate, and quite a lot, mind you. That is a bad move. My silver, on the other hand, has not, and neither has the steel. Steel doesn't deteriorate when it's unroofed, which means we can actually move the steel away from where we have our wood. The good thing about that is it means it will free up that area, and only our wood will be in the roofed area. So I'm going to clear this, I'm going to clear that one, and manufactured, and we want to go to raw resources and add steel. We want to go to this one, which luckily, if you jump between two different ones, it actually keeps the options up. Wherever I'm zoomed in, it does the exact same. So I can disable that, and what I want to do is go to there and disable steel. I also do not, I want that set to low, and I do not want, however, meals in there. And also, I don't think I want silver. I'm going to keep silver in a very special place in my room, and that is going to be in a deleted zone here. We're going to have it there, and we're going to spread that one back there, and add a new stockpile here, and this one. Okay, that's annoying. I think the only way to do that is delete there, add a new stockpile there, and then spread this one there. That's fine, that's much better. Now what we can do is this one is going to be low, and that's going to be set to silver. The reason why I changed that is just so they didn't shove loads of stuff in there just now. And now let's add that to preferred. They should hopefully haul this stuff out. So let's go to orders, haul. We're going to get rid of that and that. Now anytime I want to haul something, it will only get rid of what it is that you highlight. Basically means that we now need to add a dumping stockpile, which we're going to add over here. And I'm going to add it there and there. That should do. And then a little bit more. Oh look, it looks like we have a mad animal. Now if I jump to the location, it sounds like we're already being attacked. It seems to be a mad rat. Now the problem here is that all my people are starting to run away, I believe. As soon as they get close enough to this rat, they're going to run away. Why is that? Because this thing here has been set to run. You can change it to do nothing and ignore, or you can set it to fight back. Now what I would like to do is set all my people to fight back. Now I'm going to click on, you can either do it through assign and do it that way, or you can click on them individually or press tab and go through individually. Now what I'm going to do is they have weapons, so I believe Mila has the knife, Rodgers has the revolver, and bolt action rifle belongs to Dillon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draft Rodgers and Dillon, and that's simple by pressing shift or holding shift and selecting the top. Now if I do it all the way across three of them, I'm going to get all of them. I can now hold shift, click Mila, left click Mila, and it will deselect her. I'm going to draft, which basically means press R or press the button itself. Now if I press R, what you can see is Dillon has already registered that there is a rat nearby, and he's already starting to fire. Rodgers has also joined in and is starting to fire as well. Now, the problem here is that Dillon is about to get, is already been attacked, which means we have a bite. Now, it's not too bad, luckily. We have, it needs tending to, the pain is at 8% and bleeding at 25% a day. It's not too bad. No immediate danger, but the problem is if we get another one here, as you can see, we have another a couple of scratches. Again, no immediate danger. Now, the rat has died, but it has gone instantly forbidden. Now, if we press F, it unforbids. We can either haul it into our stockpile, or what we can do, which we don't have already, is turn that into meat. Now, if we go to production and we go to a fueled stove, we could add it over here. Problem with that is that it will get a debuff for being outside. What we can do then is add it there. Because it's right by the door and it's by the meals, we will pick up the food, or shall we say, let's change this to include corpses, but only animal corpses, and we will disable the animal corpses on that one's fine. The animal corpses technically are going there, and we're going to disable that one and that one. All the corpses are disabled on the dumping stockpile. This one is currently set to all, and the reason I'm labeling that is just so everyone's aware. It's pretty much all. I know there's a lot of things that are disabled, but it's probably better actually if I just do general. Is that better? This one, of course, is meals alone. I say that it's meals and meds. No, meds. No, not star. Where's my ad? That should be the ad. Where is it? There it is. And meds, right? Meals and meds. And this one, of course, is silver, which is nice and easy. Okay, anything else? This one is, of course, wood. Nope, change that, sorry, it's steel. And I just realised that the top one is, of course, mainly wood. Also got components, which probably should be indoors instead of being outside, but it should be alright. Now, these ones are still drafted, which means if we press R, we can undraft them, and we're going to bring the speed down back to 1, because they are running around like crazy. Okay, what is that noise? Is our warg eating? Where's our animal? Are you eating? No, you're wandering. Something was eating. Where are you wandering? Why are you off all the way over there? How far is our restrict? Not our restrict. Areas. Where's our areas? Animal wide. Wow. I didn't realise you were in wide. Okay, well let's set a close one. And a close one will probably be a lot better, because otherwise he's going to wander off. That's fine, we can set that, and we're going to disable indoors, just like we did on the wide. And then we're going to go to animals, and we're going to change him to close. Basically means that he will now go to that option instead of the wider version. We have a restriction, but we actually haven't enabled that yet. So let's enable the animal restriction to being solely indoors. Now let's just double check that we have everybody. You have home, wide, close, restricted. Again, wide, close, restricted for the animals. And again, on the animals, they are all restricted, except for, funny enough, restricted to going indoors. I believe we actually missed something. Where is it? No, that's fine. It's just this one. I just disabled that, but we don't necessarily need it. Okay. Right, we have our beds crafted, although we have pretty crappy ones. I am going to, of course, get rid of the shoddy one, which, if you can see here, you can either deconstruct by pressing X or clicking on the button there. Now, if we deconstruct it, it will actually retrieve some of the wood back. Not all of it, but some of it. The problem with that is that it then means we need to build another bed. The other option is to reinstall or deconstruct. Now, if I cancel it, I can... Sorry, not deconstruct. Deconstruct takes it apart. Reinstall basically means put it somewhere else. I believe there was an option that you could take a couple of things apart and actually build them elsewhere. But, oh well, that must be the whole reinstall. Builds we are going to do on the fuel here, and what we would like to do is, because we have... Where did that pet go? There it is. There was a rat. What we would like to do is butcher creature, meaning we would need, first of all, the butcher. Where is it? There it is. Butcher table. Now, we can use it outside. There is, again, a debuff, but to be honest, I'm really not too bothered about butchering creatures outdoors. Let's see if we can put it under here instead. As you see, butcher table will have work speed penalty because it's outdoors. Not too bothered by that, but because all the dead creatures, I am going to... Do you know what? Yeah, let's cancel that, and we're going to add that, as I said. Instead, we're going to do it here. And that means all the dead creatures that are here are going to get butchered, and the meat is going to be put back here, and then we're going to be cooked and then put there. Now, Dillon is a bit of pain, is in a bit of pain, shall we say, so we do have a doctor who is Rodgers, and you are going to be you are perfect. You are literally doing exactly what I ask. You are tending to Dillon. Now we're going to speed up a little bit just to have a look. 76%, and Dillon's health has been, he's been patched up. Perfect. Even tells you the quality, 78%, 100%, and 87%. That'll do. Perfect. Now, oh no, it failed. She failed. That's unfortunate. No, you are going... Can it work because you need wood? Ah. That's because you're moving that, aren't you? That's annoying. So one thing to note is when somebody's hauling, which obviously was noted anyway, I do also need to put that there. When somebody's hauling, it doesn't get counted in your stockpile. That was definitely wrong. I should have done that like this. No, definitely wrong again. Don't know why that's not working properly. There we go. Ah, that's why. Perfect. Now, you don't have a bed, which means we are going to have to give you another one. Problem is you're going to wake people up to do that, and also I don't think we have enough wood. Therefore, means we have to do it. We have to set an order to chop wood. Now, what you will know is that if I chop wood like this, this will only chop wood that is ready to harvest, i.e. anything that is above 90%, I believe, or around 100%. The current growth for this one, as you can see, is at 83% grown. So that is ready to harvest. That is at 99% grown. So these are all ready to be pulled down. Now let's see if we can find a tree that has not yet been grown. and won't come down. So that's 90% grown, which means that will be chopped fine. Anything else? That's all fine. I'm trying to find one that's close enough, but it doesn't look like we actually have any. Everything that I can select on is to be chopped down. That's quite handy. See if we can find anything a bit further out, shall we? So, anything around the trees? Sorry, trees around this part? Nope, it looks like there are absolutely no trees on the map except for cacti, which is, aha. Do we have this one? 92%. That's not what I want. You're better. 38, perfect. Now, one thing I want to show is if I try and chop this tree down, it won't work. The reason being is because it isn't grown enough. What you can do if you really, really have to chop it down, click on Cut Plants and then select that. What you do not, however, want to do is, I'm pausing for this reason, is do this. Because what that will do is it not only will cut down the trees around it, but it will also cut all the grass. And it means if you just want to cut down trees and get some wood, the last thing you want to do is spend all of your day and night with your colonists chopping down all the grass around, because that doesn't actually get you anything either. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to cancel all of that. Just make sure that I've got it all cancelled. And I've just realised there is a lot of survival meals around here. So what I should do is haul, and you can haul as well. How much do I have? 4. I will only need 1 person for that, so you can cancel and go back to what you were doing, which I believe was sleeping. I should probably change you to medical and make you go to rest until healed. If somebody is injured, and I could see that by the fact that he has, there we go, he's fully healed, I can now change that back to a normal and make you go back to doing whatever you want. You're stargazing for a little while. Rodgers, you are sleeping for some reason. Let's get into your bed, thank you. And for some reason, Dillon is stargazing because he doesn't have a bed. Maybe, I think he should be chopping down some wood then while he's out doing nothing. And I know it says here he should be sleeping, which means in a moment he will go to sleep. First of all, he is going to chop down a couple of trees. How much wood did we get there? 25. Perfect. That means that once now he hauls back this wood to there, we are going to get this one as well. Thank you. And it also means, I believe, Rodgers, sorry, I know you are our constructor, so you are far better than the rest. But we are going to build the final bed, which will hopefully give Dillon back his bed. Okay, now as you can see, we have a tiny, tiny little bit of wood over here. We have all our steel there. We have our meals and medicine and our rat. But what we need to do is go to butcher, creature, and we're going to do forever. The reason we do forever is just so we can keep everything completely just, chopped up. The other thing I would like to do is usually I keep the radius within wherever our meat is going to be, but what I am going to do is keep everything at max, or at least as high as possible. The reason I'm keeping it as that is anything I find around the map, I'm going to unforbid if it's a creature. And what I would like is for our person who butchers is to go get that and butcher it right away. If you want to restrict that to a closer radius, again, you can bring it down like that. But I'm going to keep it at pretty high. Usually for meals and stuff, it's best not to do that, because then if anything becomes harvestable over here and is salvageable, the cook will run all the way over there just to grab some meat, vegetables or some meat or whatever he needs in order to cook. It's not great, so best to keep the bills for this one. I did not want a fine meal, I want a simple meal, and we're going to do until you have, let's do until you have 5. I know I don't need that, I won't get 5 meals from the rat, but you never know. It's probably good just to try it. Ingredients, we are going to use meat and vegetarian. That basically means, because even though it is a simple meal, which doesn't necessarily, just so you know, doesn't actually need meat, so usually I will only use the simple meals for vegetables, and fine meals I will use for meat. With meat. But for now, because we're right at the beginning, I will use, of course, that for that. Now, who is our cook? I believe it was Mila. Yes, it is. Where is Mila? She is going for a walk. At the moment, it's on anything because it is currently 6 AM. I don't believe it's until 8, or at least until 7, that the cook actually does anything. Let's double check on restrict. 8 o'clock. That's why, because I forgot to set the cook there and everything to there. We're also going to set joy to everybody on joy here. That's just so they have a little bit of fun should they need it. And also for the joy, again, something people tend to forget at the beginning is horseshoe. So let's add a couple of horseshoes. We're going to add them out here. The reason I'm doing that is because I believe you can rotate these and they will play at different ways. The problem with that is that if you put it near a building, they won't necessarily use them. So just to make sure I'm putting it away from the building, so when they do play, they're nice and visible and they can play with them anytime they want. Another thing to note is with furniture is to put down a table, because they will indeed need a table. So I'm going to use a 2x2 table and I'm going to add it about here. The reason I'm adding it there is because it's right next to the food, and I believe your meals and your food needs to be no more than, I think it's 16 or 20 tiles from the table. If it's any more than that, then they actually will eat on the ground or off the table, outdoors, and you will get several debuffs, shall we say. So the best thing to do is build a table that is very near, or at least close enough to your refrigerator. This isn't refrigerated yet or frozen, so of course, because it's packaged survival meals, although we did get one simple meal which someone will eat, it spoils in 3 days, so someone will eat it by then. Everything else is fine. So yeah, that Yorkshire Terrier is barking and is annoying me. We need some wood. I believe they are chopping down some trees, but they are taking quite a long time. So what I should do is up the trees priority to everybody. There we go, that's much better. And while we're at that, let's get the orders down to chop loads more wood. Just so we've got some around the area that we can chop. Also, what I'm actually going to do is add another growing area. Because we don't have any trees, I would like to add a tree growing area. Now, where do I want to do it? I have a feeling that just for now, let's do it over... No, not near the geothermals. Let's do it over here. Just so it's out of the way. I believe we have actually some... Oh no. I was really hoping that the soil was completely fertile there, but it's not. It's just standard. Oh well. Never mind. We will use the standard growing area, and we will do a few trees. About there. I know it looks like a lot, but the trees don't actually grow right next to each other. Willow tree is technically the fastest growing tree with 13 days. I believe it is the fastest, so it's good to get that down right away. Also, I will indeed add everybody to grow, just so they actually have that option. Okay, and we are in a heat wave, which basically means this. An unusual heat wave has begun. Heat waves can kill quickly if people start getting heat stroke. Stay cool by building a cooler or getting deep under a mountain. Now, because we have that, I would recommend that we start getting a refrigerated unit in here somewhere. But what I will do is I will do that next time on Rimworld. Very big thank you to all of you for watching. Thank you for the support. Leave a like, subscribe, and leave a comment if you haven't already. I hope you look forward to episode 3, where we will play our 3rd game on the channel, and then we will go back to Terratech and for episode 2 of Terratech. This is currently episode 1 of Rimworld, playing Alpha 18, and I thank you very much for watching, and I will save this game for next time.